blindly follow advice, yes, I'm 100% in, but I'm still going to do a spray out card to make sure that this matches that perfect. There's 2 pearl coats, and we're going to stick it right there for that Mennonite bake cycle. The next one will be the orientation coat. Call that a half coat, so I got 2 color coverage, color, and then orientation. But here's kind of what we got going on in the shop. We're gonna get that together. We really need to get going on that bedside. There's lots to do given the situation around here, but we got a windshield going in, and that truck over there. Got a hood fender blend to do on that. And yeah, there's another black SUV here that needs to get fully torn down. Skiddy's kind of put away. I doubt it's going to snow. But yeah, she's a full house. And in that little bit of time talking about the shop, this cart is about 80% of the way dry. This paint dries super fast. And this is kind of warm air coming out. And then dries that nice. So how this paint booth works is there's an air makeup on the roof, and it pumps air in through the duct here, and it positively pressurizes the shop with air. And then when you have the fan on, it goes in through the filters there. There's another set of filters in the ceiling. It comes down and around and across the vehicle. There's filters in the back, and then it exhausts out there. So the idea is put air in the shop and then suck the air out. It's old school way of doing it, not the most efficient. Now it's all one contained unit, so if we had a booth, a newer booth, you wouldn't have to worry about doing it this way. It'd just be air makeup is only running the air in the booth. We wouldn't really have this. And the new booths would have bake cycle too, which would be really nice to have. So I think a newer booth would even have even cleaner paint jobs. Now that right there is what an orientation coat looks like. Just the pearls sitting the way a guy wants them. Nope. And I'll check it on the car in a bit. Okay. It is not redded up. This is the best score I got. That is out to lunch. I know that there's a Ford variant that was red or flop, which I bet will be a lot tighter than this. So let's spray that one out next. But man, that is a nice color. If this guy can get this dialed in, we are laughing. Now I remember looking up this color yesterday thinking that is a lot of red. And after looking at that card, I now see why it needs to have more red. So usually I just mess around with the black, dirty it up, but it does have a red look to it. So usually out of the black, yellow, red, sometimes blue, red always seems to be like just a couple of drops, but it's kind of like even with the yellow right now, which is kind of threw me off. Half the reason why I went and sprayed that first color is because the red was throwing me off, and I got some advice. But you know, so far, I bet if that was a different vehicle, like a truck, I bet it'd be a butt match no matter what. I remember the old Omni system I had a butt match with that, which was nice because it was really easy to spray, and it was always good. Like, I had a perfect starting point, maybe adjust a little bit of the color, the black levels. Pearls were always exactly where I wanted, and it was really easy. But new system, just got to figure out the colors, and we'll have this one, which is a really common Ford pearl color. I'll have this one sorted in no time. So not the end of the world, just a little bit of time right now for later on success. Check this out. You're technically not even spraying for coverage anymore, you're spraying for hiding. I mean, this is a very bright light, but you can see the different G shades. When you come on this side, that's that card, this is a different card that I'd sprayed, but you can kind of see that you don't notice that until you get from the backside. Pretty neat. I just got the base on that. We can kind of see it already has that kind of red look, where this looks a lot more yellow. We'll get some pearl mixed up, thrown on there soon. We'll see how she looks. Yeah, pearl should make a world of difference, but I'm already liking that it's gonna look redder. And sometimes, you know, you get two colors going and you go, that's too red, that's too yellow. You mix them together and you usually win. I feel like I'm trying to reinvent the wheel. So this color is the original one, and this one mixed 50-50 with the original pearl coat on it. And then this one is that redder one. And all I think I really need to do is try this color, and it has some sort of disoriented additive which lightens the flop. So I'm wondering, do I ditch that completely? And then maybe, again, trying to reinvent the wheel, whatever, just go back to what I always do and just grade up with a little bit more black, just to dirty that up. And I think we might have a winner, but we'll try both maybe. You guys want to see some like real shit? I can't get this color close enough. I'm sure some people would be like, yeah, send it, but I'm just gonna blend everything. As much as I don't like doing this live in the booth, I'm gonna triple, quadruple, wipe this thing down, blow everything out, and make sure that this stays clean. I got the anti-stack on the fresh tag rags, but unfortunately, I couldn't quite get this color to be where I want, and I'm just tired of fighting with it, so I'm just gonna blend it out as we speak so that this fender looks amazing. Now I can confirm, of all the colors I've done, this is by far the worst. Ford's UG, this is trash. I'm not getting a good match, but at the same time, the whole front end of this car has been painted once, so I'm kind of fighting with a tough match to begin with, but somebody else has already fought within it. I mean, they probably just blended out the whole front end. I can see right here, this door, I just taped it up, but there's a bit of a hanger right here, so like, whole front and that way has all been sprayed once at least. What do? I don't know. I admit defeat on this one. I just can't get it close enough. And sometimes the angles from fender to hood is just enough to manipulate your eye when seeing the color where you get away with it. This one, I'm just not having it. So if you want to avoid a situation like this, just try this little simple hack. Spray out your colors beforehand and see what you got. Don't try and do it live or be a hero like I do. I got a bad habit of that. But 99% of the time, it works out. 60% of the time, it works out every time. I know I have a good match. In the old system we had, not the Envirobase. The Envirobase is trash for all white pearls. But Omni Plus, when we used to have that, that was unbelievable stuff for white pearls. I always found a match of that, which is surprising because it's a cheaper paint line. But, I don't know. The color I have is, I don't know, 6 out of 10. That's not quite good enough. So what I am doing here is I did a scan, and instead of looking up a color as a pearl, I ended up looking up as a solid color, and it gave me this code here, and I liked it because compared to the variant that was like a 6 out of 10, I knew I needed more black and just a little bit more each of the yellow and red. Essentially what I needed is less total white by a little bit, add black, and then hopefully that brings out some more color, and then I add the more black to dirty it up. But I'm really liking this for a ground coat, and I'm just going to pick the standard, whatever the variant is, for the effect coat, the pearl coat, and I'm just going to send it. I got lots of room to blend now, and it is what it is. I don't know. We are doing it live. We're doing it live. What's that guy's name? News anchor dude? Yeah, that's essentially what we're doing. We're just winging it, but I'm really confident with the new color I have. Spray out a card again, and if this color's tight and I went through all this effort, whatever, learning lesson, but like if this color's tight, I will be really happy because this is going to go a mile, because this is a super popular color. This was the white that went in all those other colors, and it looks like we are going with a different white I don't know if you can tell the difference here, but this one's extra, so whatever that means, it just might have an attitude. And on the color wheel, it's the same? I don't get that. I don't know. Somebody from De Beer, tell me, is it just a strength difference? Because it looks like it's the same color on the wheel. I need to get me one of them Donut Media Cars Are Paint shirts, or have my own color is paint, or paint is paint. I'm in pain right now. I don't know. Let's pray. So I got my first coat on, it's still wet. I'm trying to hide it right behind this body line. Blend it out there, but this is a solid color, matching my pearls really nice. We might have a winner here. If we have a winner here, then sweet, because then we're giving her. And I got my card right there. I'm gonna do my letdown panel right now and see what we got. All I have to say is there was no reason at all for me to be panicking earlier. Now in person, this one on the bottom looks really tight. For some reason on the camera it's looking white and that one's looking a little dirtier. But man, let's go! This card I'm holding on to forever. I'm loving this, loving it. So now all I gotta think is, this was totally unnecessary. You know, I went and had a late lunch, and at the end of the day, it all worked out. I just had to stick to what my initial thought was after doing those 4 or 5 cards, and it works out. So, no need to panic. We got it tight, like a 9 out of 10. For all of the De Beer painters out there, what's going on here? Anyways, here is the formula that I use for my ground coat. Focus. Right there, 101929945. This right here is the answer. That ground coat right here with, this is just the standard variant effect coat, pearl coat, mixed exactly as is. And then it's just a matter of you doing your letdown panel and figuring it out yourself. But this color right here, that formula for Ford UG, that is the play. This is going to be my starting point from here on out with the standard pearl coat every single time. Wow, I'm really pumped about that. So again, we had some repairs to do here, so I had enough holes where I could push stuff out, hit stuff with a hammer. A little bit of tugging on here to pull that out, but any bare metal that was showing from cracked paint, just hitting it with some car rep. This is a 2K epoxy sealer primer, and this stuff is really good for going on bare metal. So what I'm going to do is let this sit overnight, put a nice good coat on it, and then I'm going to re-seam seal this tomorrow morning so that I know that the metal is sealed in with the car rep 2K epoxy, and then I can slap some of the seam sealer on. And once the seam sealer's on, I can put another coat of paint to match the interior or the inner structure, and it'll look like it was never here. And we're kind of just masking off wherever we can with hard lines. There's a label here, but you won't even know that there was any repairs done here when we're done. Whoa, would you look at that? Nothing left in that can. I swear that once you get dialed in with your scale and you get a really nice paint gun like the Exodus, the efficiency goes way up and the waste goes way down.